So do you know awareness? So how many of you know awareness? Raise your hand. And how many of you don't know awareness? Raise your hand. Okay. And how many of you, maybe I know, maybe I don't know? Raise your hand. Okay. Actually, I think you all know awareness. Should I give you an exam or not? Yes? So those who says, I know awareness, of course you know. So you pass. and those who says, I don't know awareness, do you know you don't know awareness? Or no? Those who raise your hand saying that I don't know awareness, right? So do you know that you don't know awareness? Yeah, that's the awareness. So if you know you don't know awareness, and that is the awareness. So those who says I don't know awareness, meaning you know awareness. So you also pass. And those who says maybe I know, maybe I don't know, right? Not sure. Do you know you're not sure? If you know you're not sure, so there's also awareness. So you also pass. So actually, all of you pass. So congratulations.
All right there, got it the wrong way round. It was meant to go. All right there. Went to the cinema the other day. Now, you might or may not know that my girlfriend's from the sticks. Oh, she might have swung herself around a pole in the middle of Phnom Penh, but she's from the sticks. And I took her to the cinema. I took her to a shopping centre the other week. First time she'd been on an escalator. Oh, don't worry, love. I'll show you things. Excited as hell. You know the bit when you step off it? It's like, oh, when you're like 3. Well, she had trouble. She loved it. Up and down, up and down. Went to the cinema. 3D glasses on. Literally, she was grabbing at the air. We went and saw that. How I Trained My Dragon. Obviously not my choice, but kind of nice. What was absolutely beautiful was she was amazed. Like, just vocally impressed frequently. At one point, there's a bit where the dragons go into the sort of dragon kingdom, which is like in another world. And it is stunning. I mean, this is DreamWorks. They know what they're doing. And on this huge 3D screen. And as soon as it come up and you heard like the sort of twinkling, she went, wow. And there's something about that innocence that just does me. It just made it made my whole fucking life worthwhile. Speaking of innocence. Hang on, I'll get to that in a minute, shall I? Yeah. Okay. So I went to cinema, that happened. I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. Oh, that makes a change, Mr. Dangerfield. Usually it's just a well-constructed, structured... I mean, structure, that's the word people often use about my videos. No tangenting, no slipperiness at all. What I wanted to say was I regularly thank my patrons. I've changed that from Patreons for obvious reasons. But at the start of the year, should have done this last week really, but I want to thank you, the viewer. Your regular run-of-the-mill, hand-down trousers, cup of tea on the beer gut viewer for watching and sharing. My channel is still growing. You know, there's a couple of YouTubers I watch. And they got kind of smallish, same kind of size channels as mine. A little bit bigger, one of them a little bit smaller. And the channels are dying. You know, when I heard them talking about it, and I went over to Subscribestar, and they're losing views, and they're losing subscribers. And in the content, you can sort of see them hanging on. And I'd be devastated. I would be absolutely... I mean, I'd get over it. I've had worse. I've had worse. When I was living in a junkie's toilet in Paynton, me, my girlfriend and a dog, and the toilet bowl there with like my head on it at night. That was bad. But I'll get over Luke. But I would be devastated. And I just thought some thanks were in order. Rather than just thanks for the few quid, mate. Just for watching, sharing, remaining engaging. And I was told many times what a brutal, hostile place the tubes are. When Devon, when Atheism is Unstoppable mirrored one of my videos and I went from 600 to 2,000 subscribers, it was like, bang, oh, my channel is legitimate now. And I thanked him and he said, yep, they're your problem now. And I kind of understood that. But the comment sections of my videos are just amazing. When someone says, that's the best story I've ever heard. I haven't laughed that much in years. This is the best channel on YouTube. And I get comments like that all the time. Check them if you think I'm just milking my own kind of narcissistic, cyclical breast. That means a lot. That means a lot. That's your life and I've had a positive effect on it. And that's nice. That's a good thing in the world. What else could you want to do, really? I don't want to have negative effects on the world. I want to contribute positively. Thank you. So nice one. Good. Channel's still growing. Slowly. Ever so slowly. I want to start a campaign. I want all of you to get one person to subscribe. Make a phone call. Get on Facebook. Send the link and double my sub count today. Today. I said today. It's been a long weekend. Listen to this. So if you saw my Xanax stream the other night, messy, and it's interesting for me when the missus goes away, I'm in trouble. I'm not good company on my own. I know she's not here, I'll take a few pills. I grew up taking drugs. I grew up in a town where everyone took drugs. I think nothing of it. But when she came back and she saw the little whiskey glass, I'm not a big drinker, but a couple of shots. She saw the reefer madness in the ashtray, a couple of biffs I had, and I don't smoke, so she knows it's a biff. When she saw the blister packets of the Valium and the Xanax, to me that's nothing. I've got nicknames for these things: Xannies, Vals. It's just nothing. But I saw it through her eyes. These are prescription medications. These are to treat problems. What kind of twisted mentality uses them for leisure? Oh, it's Saturday night, the girlfriend's away. I know, I'll take some anti-anxiety medication. It looked dark. And like I say, to see it through her eyes, I can't do that sort of thing around. I don't want her to see me like, I'm a mature man. We're talking about a family. And so I've been kind of a bit introspective about that drug use recently, and it's been upsetting me because if I wasn't with her, I know what I'm like. I was like it before I was with her. I was out drinking, I was popping pills, I was smoking bifters. And that's what happens to me on my own. And don't get me wrong, this is kind of first world problems to an extent. I've got a job, I've got a YouTube channel, I've got a girlfriend, I love where I live, I'm happy. But there is this endless fascination with chemicals. And so I went for a wander over the temple. Now, I'm an atheist. Been an atheist since as long... Well, I'll tell you when it goes back to. It goes back to when I used to have a mate. He went to the Pentecostal church round the corner from where I lived on East Hill. And that's proper speaking in tongues and all that shenanigans. And they used to lure the poor kids into their community via barbecues and ice skating and rock climbing. And I'd done all that stuff. And, it was a joke. We didn't take any of the religious teachings seriously. You just kind of put up with them, look at the birds. And the birds at that little church group, all slags. Now, I mean that, and that's not a pejorative. It was amazing. They'd turn up to this church club caked in makeup with little stilettos that they've had to change once they've left the house, put their trainers in their bag, little mini skirts. Fucking hell. Oh, Mum, I'm going to church. I'll speak in tongues. They called one barbecue a sausage sizzle, and my old man raised an eyebrow. Anyway, I used to go round to that Pentecostal church to wait for me to meet my mate when he'd finished, and they used to snare us outside. You know, there was a few of us who'd, you know, waiting for your sort of weird religious mate. You know, they're brief relationships. No one's best mate goes to church. Even if you're a church goer, your best mate is someone out of church, because obviously. So a few of us were waiting outside, and he comes out in his long, terrifying black gown. And it's a cool kind of golden hour, 4:30, 4:45, sort of autumn evening. It looks like the cover of The Omen. Terrified me as a kid. Horror movies terrified me as a kid. Not the gore, not the zombies, all that lot. I literally laughed at it when my friends were like, ah! But the supernatural, the devil, the idea of possession, all that lot. Amityville Horror, Exorcist, The Omen movies, specifically The Omen. You know, there was adverts for it on telly, like, oh, 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 oh. And when they show his face with all the Medusa snakes, oh my, even, not too good at the moment with it. But it looked like that. And I had a little street light outside my house, and on a night with a little bit of drizzle in the air, it looked like the cover of The Exorcist. The links I made as a child. And of course it was around my house. We got the Scrabble out and played Ouija boards, and then everyone would fuck off home. And then at school the next day someone would say, oh, you done it in your house, did you? Yeah, you know the glass, you know that little glass, when you tip that over, you let the devil death spirit into your mum's bedroom. What? Hang on. So all this stuff's brewing in me. And then old fucking... I nearly said Santa Claus. Similar. The old pastor, vicar, sermonia. What? He sort of has come out gliding a couple of inches above the ground. Well, you boys don't want to come in? You can wait in the warm? No, you're all right, Vic. Is Vic there? Is Vic there? Anyone can reference that in the comments, 10 points. Anyway, he starts talking to me about God. Oh, you should. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not really that into it. Come on, I'm just waiting for Adrian. Doxed. And he starts telling me about the book of Revelations. Oh, he's giving me motive. He knows how to get a kid hooked, scare the life out of them. So he starts telling me about the book of Revelations, that in the Bible, it turns out that the end of the world is coming. And that there's going to be rape and murder and bloodshed and terror and fear and hideousness on biblical proportions, of biblical proportions. And then all the people that believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour. What? Lord Jesus Christ? Cheese. Oh, everyone who believes in a round of brie is going to be fine. Edam, lovers, no problem. And he says that they're all going to be lifted out of the earth and saved. And I'm like, whoa, that sounds a bit scary. And he went, well, it's already happening. I was like, whoa, hang on. There's me. I'm literally at the time 11 years old, thinking, it's got to be about a couple of thousand years. I have a rough understanding of how long biblical time is. And he's like, well, it's already happening. And at the time, we've got the IRA bombing the mainland. You know, the Irish paramilitaries are blowing up Harrods. I was in fucking London when Harrods blew up. No mobile phones then. Oh, mother thought I was dead. It's all right, darling. I wasn't in Harrods, I can assure you. So there's a lot of bombings on the main line. He went, oh, that's part of it, you see. And I'm like, whoa, because this is now, he's giving me real world references for the impending end of the world, and he's quoting like the Cold War's going on, the threat of nuclear annihilation. Oh yeah, that's the devil's work too, Chris. Oh, thanks. And so I come back with, yeah, but like my mum doesn't go to church or anything, but she's good. She goes like to christenings and weddings and funerals, but she's a good woman. She'll be all right. And he's like, no. What a cunt. My mum, just a lovely woman. Strong, responsible, caring. No, she's not going to be saved. No, she'll be raped and murdered and tortured and living in hell on earth because she doesn't go to the church. So this freaked the fuck out of me. I go home, tell my mum. She sends my dad round there, in her words, to tear stripes off him. Anyway, for months and months and months, I cried myself to sleep. I just thought, we've all got to go to church. Come on, we need to save ourselves. Come on, it won't be too much hassle, will it? Bit of sausage sizzle, a bit of speaking in tongues. Oh, I'll speak in tongues. Hello, darling. I still remember that bird. The one I'm thinking of. Oh, I was thinking of her the other night. So once I matured and hit puberty at 27, I got over that and kind of carried that fuck off with me. When I first went into rehab at the age of 23, early starter, I'm an early adopter. When it comes to addiction, I was an early adopter. You realise there's a lot of God stuff there. There's a lot of higher power stuff. Higher power, you need a higher power. And you think, oh fuck man, I've ended up at one of these madhouses. And then you go to another rehab and they've got a bit of it there. Then another one, and there's different levels of it, but it's all there and it's in the 12 steps. And there's God. What? Hang on, I've come here I thought this was an hospital and you're telling me God's going to cure me? What the fuck? Problems. And I kind of rejected it. And then even my good sponsor, who was the owner of the rehab that got me 4 years clean off of everything, not even a cup of tea, not even a paracetamol. He's coming on my channel, by the way, because I had my art teacher on, my art teacher and mentor. I thought, why don't I do a series of father replacements? So he's coming on, he's agreed. It'd be an amazing chat. He's worked in rehabs, he's got celebrities clean, a very funny, interesting bloke. Went away for armed robbery, public school boy. Ooh, oh, big mistakes. Smackhead. Hey, he's baghead. He even said to me, look, just see a higher power, something bigger than you, outside of you. You know, it could be anything. And there's me, I just challenged it like, well, if it could be anything, it might as well be nothing. And I never understood it, never felt it, couldn't reason with it, didn't make sense. So the other day when I'm all introvert and pondering my own company and my chemical relationships, I went for a wander. Oh, and magnetically ended up at a temple. Now that's not that strange because there's fucking thousands around here. You'd be hard pressed to not end up at a temple if you walk in a straight line anywhere. And I'm at this temple and there's monks walking around in their robes and you can hear boing, boing. And in fairness, it's fucking tranquil. Near no major roads. You can hear birds singing. It's a fucking monk. It's a Buddhist temple. Probably one of the calmest places on the planet. In fairness. You don't have to believe that to feel it and to observe it. And I liked it. You know, I remember when I got clean in a Thai brothel. I've told that story a few times. And the woman, one of the love stories of my life, who run the brothel. That's what my novel's about. Looking to have that finished by May, by the way. She had a lot of Buddhist stuff up on the wall, like the eternal wheel and all this stuff. And I was so envious of it. I just looked at it and thought, I wished I believed in something. I just wish I had something that I could, something bigger than me, something outside of me. Now that's key, outside of me. And while I was over at this temple, I sat down. There was like a little wooden bench, and I sort of just sat down and just thought, all right, just breathe. Just practice some acceptance. All right, this is your situation. This is where you're at. That's okay. You don't need to judge yourself negatively for who you are. Just accept it and be proactive. What can I change? What can't I change? And how am I going to go about that? Lo and behold, a monk comes and sits next to me. And I'm thinking, this is a little bit like when I was waiting for my mate at the church. Oh, they're preying on me, figuratively and literally. But he's all right. He's got no hair. He's shown absolute humility. I mean, he hasn't compensated for it by wearing a big furry hat or anything. Come on, it ain't that bad. It is that bad. He's just sat down next to me. And he's got his robes on, his little flip flops. So I sort of just turned to him. I'm like, all right there. you might know my YouTube channel. I don't say that. And he just sort of goes, hello. And I go, yeah. And I know that I'm giving him the body language where I'm going, fucking help me. It's screaming out of me. My attempts to be just a fraction of the enlightenment and acceptance that he is exuding, just And I'm like, all right. And he says to me, he says, why are you here? Kind of broken English, why are you here? And I go to him, I've got a drug problem. And then I go like that, just to put my arm out. Just to give him, so, how else am I going to tell him what drugs are? Like, Valium, Xanax, I've got a problem. And he puts his hand on my arm, not on my shoulder. He puts his hand here, just gently there. And then he starts going for it. He's going, no eyes shut though, just looking forward. He's going, I well up. I start crying. I really do. Not wailing. No. Won't do that. But it just duck. The Khmer word for water is duck. So when I go duck, yeah, water. And then of course it breaks and just comes down here. And I sort of look at him. I feel alright. I look at him. Same. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tears of a Buddha. To my left, a crying Buddha. And I'm laughing and I'm doing what I do with serious things, but it was amazing. Sorry, atheists. It was amazing. And you know what it did? I mean, it didn't last long. I didn't sort of just wiped them away. He took his hand away and he was just sitting there again. And I just thought a little bit. And I just felt a little bit. I know feelings got a bad rep, but they do have their place. And if you don't have a place for them, you're in trouble. And I just realised about being outside of my head. Being outside of me. For a split second, not inhabiting planet Dangerfield. Just a sense of my very, very small part in a very, very big arrangement. And it was exactly what I needed. Because it's when I'm in my head, when I'm stuck with myself, when I'm obsessed with myself, when I am narcissistically inclined, when it's all about me. That's when the struggle comes. That's when the pain comes. That's when the sense of a lack of peace comes. It's when the trouble comes. That's when I seek medicine. That's when I seek medication. That man who's coming on here, his name's Chip. I was about 10 weeks clean. I was staying at his house. And I said, I am already missing error. And he went, well, you're bound to. He said, but mate, it's for people with cancer. It's for people who are dying. Took the shine off it a little bit. I didn't hear that one in the Velvet Underground. I didn't hear William Burroughs mention that one when I was building my fascination with the substance. But as I walked away from that temple, I just felt such relief. Nothing had changed beyond my perception of my environment. That there is so much more than the endless goings on in here. It was quite something. You know, those kind of situations cannot be organised. They are going to happen by chance. And how wonderful. So I'm going to become a Buddhist. Leonard Cohen, who was having terrible life problems, he went to a Buddhist temple. He went to become a Buddhist. And one of the monks there said to him, do you know what enlightenment means? You come here searching for enlightenment. Do you even know what it means? And Leonard was like, no. Well, he was probably like, no, I don't know. And the Buddhist went, it means lightening up. Just lighten up a bit. And Leonard Cohen had heard that when you get to a temple, when you become a Buddhist, they're going to get you cleaning the place and using a toothbrush on all, cleaning all the fucking hand-carved wood and stonework around the place. Work, basically. The humiliation, not the humiliation, the humility of work. Interestingly happens at rehabs. I'll come back to that in a minute. But no, because they realised very quickly after some kind of spiritual assessment that this man was a workaholic. He could not stop working. His life was devoted to putting out creative content. The monk said to him, there's a tennis court over there. Go and have a couple of games every day and just chill the fuck out. That's not verbatim the story, but that's the basic essence of it. Lighten up. That's enlightenment. Relax. When you're at rehab, and all rehabs, all of them except for the really expensive ones where you just go because you're in trouble with the law or the press is on you because you're a celebrity. Oh, I'm going to go and get clean for a week. Yeah, good luck to that. They do this thing where they're called, what are they called? TDs, therapeutic duties. And when you've been to a few rehabs, you know it's coming. So it's just part and parcel of the nightmare, the boot camp thought crime mentality of a rehab centre. But it's funny when you've got the newcomers there, like the young people or the old alcoholics. They don't see this coming. They think they're going to lay in a bed for 9 weeks and have water and food brought to them. No, you're going to get your head fucking cleaned out. It's hard work. Therapy from 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon, every day. And then TDs, therapeutic duties. And so they assign them. So someone sits there with a clipboard, someone half your age. Right, John, do you want to do the upstairs toilet, the downstairs kitchen, or the common room? And this geezer's like, what? What do you mean, do? Well, upstairs toilet needs the toilet roll changed, the bag changed, the tampon box changed, the floor mopped. Yeah, that's it. Do you want that? Or the common room, you've got to dust the tables, hoover the carpet. And they're like, hang on. And you've got like people like me, they're junkies, like can barely got the energy to stand up. And you're being told you've got to go and clean a toilet. And I was literally puking in there. You know, there's not much worse than a fucking rehab bog brush to make you sick. But add to that you're withdrawing. I remember, you know, the bathroom activities of drug addicts and alcoholics aren't good at the best of times. But in that rehab period, when it's all readjusting, you don't want to be anywhere near a fucking toilet in a rehab centre, man. But when I got clean in that Thai brothel, which I'd done thrice times, I was offering my services. And I would end up mopping the floor at the brothel, sweeping up, tidying up. I'm doing it voluntarily and doing it without thought. I didn't think, I better do my TDs. I mean, I know it's not rehab, it's a brothel, but I better do... No, I just realised it was good for me to give a bit back because the brothel madam, my lover, had nurtured me and looked after me and accepted me and been through hell and fear watching me dying and watching me come back to life. And just to help out, it was fucking gorgeous actually. You'll read all this in my novel, but we used to sit there in the mornings folding up every time you go and lay down in a bed in one of those brothels, they put a little towel on the pillow so you're not laying on the previous bloke's spunk. So every morning we'd sit there rolling up these little towels, thousands of them, so they're available all day for the girls. So once they've taken the customer in, they grab a big towel and grab one of these little ones. And we'd just be sitting there as the sun came up, like 6, 7 a.m. And, you know, Patong coming to life and the heat of the day coming and just me and this lover from 10 years rolling these towels and suddenly me realising I've done it. I've been through hell. I didn't eat or sleep or drink water for fucking weeks. A little bit of water after the first 5 days because I realised I was dying. Anyway, another story. But yeah, wonderful. Which is a really weird but kind of related to what I wanted to talk about. No, none of that was what this video was meant to be about because now it's going to go downhill rapidly. Yesterday I was watching this video. One of those, if this wasn't recorded if this wasn't on video, you wouldn't believe it happened. Usual suspects. Usual capers, car crashes, helicopter crashes, bombs going off. And then there was this Chinese woman walking down this little narrow street with a dog on a lead. Scooter drives past pretty slowly, and then you realise they've got a crook, like a shepherd's crook, a stick with a loop on the end. And as they drive past, they loop the dog's lead, its collar, and then the driver just pulls away, and it yanks the lead out of the woman's hand, and they zoom off up the road, dragging this dog, looks like a Labrador, by its neck, and it's bumping up and just it's being dragged along the road. And I'm sorry to share that with you, and I mean that because I regret watching it. It ruined my day. In fairness, it was worse for the dog and the owner, of course, but you know, I've always struggled with injustice. When I was at school and when I watched gangs of kids picking on one kid, it hurt me. I'd physically feel it. There's something disgusting about bullies. And when I see people treating animals badly like that, and you know, I know this from watching similar things in Thailand. They're not stealing dogs to sell as pets. That's for restaurant food. That's for meat. And if you see my little story, The Crack Diaries, you'll know that we had drug dealers take our staff off us, our bull terrier that we loved, when we had nothing. And the pain my girlfriend went through when we didn't know where that dog was. Would we ever get him back? Are they going to fight it? Well, and it was hell. And I just imagined that poor woman just seeing her dog dragged off up the road, knowing that within the hour it's going to have its throat slit, it's going to be hung upside down, and by morning it'll be in 1,000 dishes. And I just thought, well, my first thought was, if anyone done that to me, I would track them down and I would fuck them up. I would spike them with LSD, and when they were at the height of their absolutely terrifying confusion, I would put them through such deep psychological hell. And while I'm thinking that, and while that revenge is crippling me, I remembered that when it happened to me in the Crack Diaries, I'd done nothing of the sort. I sat there passive, hoping that they'd bring my fucking dog back. And I know it's a different situation, but... And it got me thinking about revenge, and, you know, revenge can cripple you. It can... You sometimes better letting things go. Me and the missus had a little row the other day. She thought that the tuk-tuk driver was ripping us off. The money was too much. And I said something to her like, haven't you got that $5? And she just looked at me, and then there was a mad strop. And then when we got home, we were arguing. And I was trying to explain to her, look, it was $2 difference. Now, fair enough, I should have kept my mouth shut. You were on it. But now we're giving that tuk-tuk driver, because that was her concern. She was saying, he's taking the piss out of you because you're a Barang, because you're English. He thinks he can charge you more. And you said give him $5. And I was like, right, okay, I get all that. But I was trying to explain to her that now he's also affected our evening. Now we're arguing with each other. So now it's not just $2. Now it's $2.50 hour. This could go on all night. This could colour our evening, which is far more than $2 fucking dollars. And again, so it does kind of relate to that. Come on, get outside of yourself. Get things into perspective. But if someone done that to my dog now, and I just thought of that owner. You know, dogs aren't... Actually, your dog is like a child. He's like a kid. But there's some similarities. I'm not going to pretend. There's definitely more differences than similarities. But you do connect with them. You do bond with them. What cunts... If you need meat, steal a fucking cow. Steal a pig. Not someone's pet. Wow. And then I heard about this story from a couple of years ago that's just going through the courts in America. These 3 teenagers robbed this man's house, this old man's house, not realising that the son of the house owner was in. and he had a machine gun and he shot them all dead. Funny, isn't it? And there was some of the arguments in the interviews and the press about it. Right, one of the fathers of the dead kid said that it was unfair for him to use a gun because they only had knives and brass knuckles. I mean, who brings a knife to a gunfight? But seriously, who goes domestic burglary in a place like Texas where it's just Gunsville? And I've been trying to work out ever since, is that justice? I mean, that's someone else's property. And if you go in there with knives and brass knuckles, I've seen what brass knuckles can do. I see a mate get his head caved in. Literally caved in. This bit gone. Guys. And if you take them, you're willing to use them. And a knife, you go in there to take things from someone. And if you're going armed, you're going to take from them and potentially hurt them severely, perhaps murder them. And so if you get full of lead, you know, everything you do in life, everything, nothing falls outside of this very simple truth. Everything you do has negative or positive or neutral consequences. They're your options. There's no nuance. There's no supplementary options. It's going to have positive, negative, or neutral consequences. Perhaps a combination with different dominances. And you're free in most places, to an extent, a different argument, to do whatever you're capable of. You've got to be willing to accept the consequences of your actions. And if you're not, and you complain about those consequences, you're an idiot. Because what gives you the right to think you can just breeze through life? Nothing to add to that. Really. It's hard. It's difficult. Things you do have reactions. Cause and effect.
Thanks for watching.
Sweet bit, sweet mama, sweet bit, sweet mama, sweet bit, sweet mama.